Hi, I know hello. I know it's been a moment since we've seen each other here. I look a little different, or maybe the same, but today I received a invitation from Spirit to come be present, and the wind is speaking. Um, but I have some really important things that I would like to share. Let the rain fall down, the wind in the hair. Just let it down, girl. Out here being authentic and stuff. See, but if my hair's down, the wind, but that's how y'all know when the wind is speaking. That's that confirmation, you know what I'm saying? So today I don't have any mics on. The mics that I bought end up creating this really high pitch sound. The camera itself is picking up the frequency of the Bluetooth situation, so you're just getting raw audio today from the microphone within the camera, okay? We have been on a journey, girls, and there was a calling invitation from Spirit to come and share the journey that we've been on. There's been some really powerful recognitions and realizations, also really powerful grounding and clearing taking place. You know what it started with? This. You know what this is? It's a tooth. It's a tooth, y'all. I guess there's several updates that I need to share kind of more formally in this space. So in February, took a course training as a birth doula with the Center for Indigenous Midwifery, and it taught me a lot about what it is to facilitate within the context of a physical birthing space. And because my beautiful Virgo brain loves to witness patterns, she says at 2:22 on the recording time, I love to see how that applies not only in physical birthing spaces, but also when we go through transitional phases that feel really big for whatever part of us is experiencing that in life. That brings me to this tooth. So let me take you back to early February. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I journeyed to the Tri-Cities in my earth-keeping truths. And upon return from sitting with these large nuclear related energies is what I'll speak on with that. I'm just gonna pause and honor that because that was a really big thing to do, and it was very layered. And when I get called to do land work at that level, it comes in forms of research as well as just physical pieces coming together. Upon arrival back to the beautiful town of Wenatchee, I did the most, human experience thing and went to the dentist. Now, I had a baby tooth in my mouth still, and there wasn't an adult tooth underneath of it. So when it came out, boom, that's all she wrote. I knew, and it was shared with me when I was younger, that when I got up into my late 20s, that it would probably need to come out. Now, this tooth in particular had a crown when I was a kid, and then we had redone the crown not too many years ago. Now, several months prior to February, wow, love the wind, thank you, thank you, thank you. They're like, share your voice, girl, we love it. Also, it's just very impactful for what this journey will move into, but I'm gonna stay on track today. But so several months prior to this dentist appointment, I had noticed that it felt like there was an air pocket underneath my tooth, and I was like, oh, this is not good, this is not good. And I didn't think about it because I just wasn't in a position to navigate that when I had first noticed it. Then when February came around after my visit to the Tri-Cities, it was like, you need to go. And for informational purposes. And so I went, and it was found that there was some bone loss underneath that tooth, and so there's like prongs like this, and I mean it's a baby tooth, so the prongs are like little prongs, and like there's teeth or bone, there's tooth underneath there, there's bone underneath here, and it was like this whole part had bone loss. Now, for those of you who maybe don't know about dental related things, I'm going to kind of share the information that was given to me, and that gap invites an opportunity for infection to occur. And the dentist came in and stated that, you know, that tooth needs to be extracted. And I was having feelings about that, and a very powerful response. And I started to notice that the way that I was responding was not aligned with how I currently navigate things. And so I'm like, I'm a witness. I'm a sit with this. Little did she know that what she would be sitting with turned out to be a very massive representation of a inner child healing on the physical grounded level. So when I left the dentist, I was having feelings about it, because not only was it I'm now going to be in a position where I have to make large decisions. That part for the inner child is like already like, but also there is a review of, you know, what is my relationship with my wellness and where do I prioritize that? How do I lean into trust with the financial commitments that conventional medicine invites us to be present with? Also, how does historically those two main things play into the stories that my inner child had held? And there's so many moving parts within this, because the tooth coming out was so representative of much like larger scale things. So, but we're staying on track. That's what we're doing. It's also really powerful to be verbalizing this because of what this represents, and so me talking about it is like a layer of the integration of the physical healing process. And so I just want to make sure I say all the words, you know what I'm saying? So in sitting with this, a couple weeks go by after the beginning of February, and my tooth starts getting sore. I'm like, I have time to sit with this. I can wait a year before I have to deal with this, you know, get enrolled in the things, and waiting periods and all the things that come with the technicalities of conventional medicine and pharmaceuticals, which that's another conversation for another day. Well, we'll come back. We'll circle back to that, because there's also some powerful recognition in verbalizing that as well. Just in relation to, as a person who resonates as a spiritual being, am I not strong enough in the belief of the medicine that the body is capable of holding to heal and navigate this myself? And like almost layers of shame that had come with that. Not have, because it's not current. That's right. That's my grandmother. So, but feeling into, as a spiritualist, like, how am I sitting with my healing, and where do I want that healing to come from? So a couple of weeks went by, and I started to notice that it was sore underneath that tooth, and I was like, oh, there is something going on over there. And then it was like all of these things started running, and I was flabbergasted because it was as if I held them as truth in their fullness. And there were nights that I went to sleep that it was like I didn't even want to go to lay down, because during the day I didn't have to think about what was present. But then at night, it was like all of the thoughts were just running. You know, what is my smile line gonna look like if I get this tooth extracted and I don't get an implant? What is, you know, is there judgment that I'm gonna receive? And the wind speaks. They're like, let me carry it away for you, girl. Thank you, Kashokoyaki. What if I receive that judgment? And it also was an evaluation and reflection of everything that I was witnessing is a way that I've witnessed others. And so how can I come to this like neutral stance about this and about the feelings that I'm witnessing? Luckily, I had the opportunity. It's so funny. I'm feeling very vulnerable right now. I'm like witnessing my body respond to speaking this, and I'm like, well, I need to say the things in the right order, and I need to tell this story chronologically, and like, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. I'm telling you the highlights. Highlight reel. There was just so much. There was so much with it. And so I was sitting with these thoughts that were running and really, again, just deeply evaluating and witnessing like what my inner child is going through. And that's like the point that I want to come back to, is these were inner child related systems. And there's been a lot of work done in that space. And it wasn't just this moment of time, it was like from birth to 27, like speed run, let's go. And I found myself in that birth doula role through it, and my guides were so there. And they were like, because you know, this inner child had this fear of, I'm not gonna have this, I'm not gonna have that, I'm not gonna, very scarcity mindset. And the guides were like, no matter what thought comes up, no matter anything, like, we are gonna help you through this. You wanna question yourself? We're right there to help you through it. There's lines of questioning that are like very layered and you're like really overwhelmed. We're right there. And through that process, it was this like, we are gonna be here to help you birth this tooth. Also, they were bringing the awareness to what the transitional process of oral health looks like during and after pregnancy, and how my experience with my teeth would assist me in the spaces as a birth doula as well. At this current moment in time, I have yet to birth these beautiful babies that are awaiting their arrival here in the physical, but there was again this awareness that, you know, this abscess that has formed underneath of your tooth and is causing these thoughts to generate is also going to start to like cause other issues. And so I managed it for a little while, and I started to witness it, like the pressure of it push on my other teeth, and it was just uncomfortable because it felt like my teeth were gonna fall out. And like, I was okay with that, but it's also one of those things that's like, that's a big thing to manage. No matter if the resources are available or not, like, that's just a thing to manage, and I don't want to deal with that right now. And again, it was this like proactive conversation with the wellness of my body and taking action. And just within that, because that's layered as well, this like masculine feminine balancing in, okay, I know that in contexts one could heal and navigate this within the healing that the body can naturally generate, and finding that line of where conventional medicine meets holistic health and where that aligns for me, and not being shameful in that. Also, taking the power and the ceremony of this process into my own awareness and bringing forth such a intentional practice with it, because the whole process was ceremonious. And through this, all of this, like, because this was like several months that this went on, so many big things happened, and it was all connected with the birthing of this tooth and event. And when it finally came out, I was so like relieved, and I felt like myself again. And you know, that is a phrase, a term that I've heard expecting mothers like in postpartum state of like after the baby was born, I was starting to feel like myself again. And by all means, I'm not saying me birthing a tooth is equally equivalent to birthing a baby. What I'm saying is that the skill set, it's similar, and then in that birthing space amplified clearly, because having a child enter through the portal of the womb is deeply sacred and transformative on the layers of life that are just life itself, life, it's creation, you know what I mean? So during this time of the physical healing process, because once it was out, that wasn't it. It wasn't like all, like the thoughts themselves were sealed, like they were where they needed to be. Spirit still had guidance for me. Spirit still had places they needed me to be in this healing. It brought me to my younger 20s. I was witnessing the process of ego, and I was able to view it post this experience in a very different light, because those egoic tendencies were also attached to inner child-based belief systems. I was able to view that part of my life with a transparency with self that I didn't before. And I witnessed how, again, those belief systems and the egoic action supported a whole, like, system. And in this rebirth process that was happening with the release of this tooth, it was like, okay, now because you're seeing this from outside, this part of your life is sealed. And it's not that we're not honoring it. It's not that we're acting like it's not there. It's the belief systems are no longer anchored. And that's like significant. So directly post the experience, I like zoomed out and was starting to witness how big my capacity is. And when I say that, I mean that like, I'll tell you all the secrets of the universe today. Maybe not all of them. No. As facilitators, as practitioners, people who hold space for others, we all have different capacities. We all have different ways in which we show up, and the ways we can show up, the things that we have the abilities to show up for. And the inner child had a pretty big like file save within that capacity, and with it in a different physical location. I'm screaming. There's a plastic bag on the floor, on the ground over there. Do you ever feel that inner child girl? She's right here. Hey babe, love you. With her her file save in a different capacity category, I was able to like really see and feel like just a different layer in space. And like also witness all of the things that I've been able to hold space for with that file save still within that large capacity. And now that that chunk is not present there, it's like capacity, like hello, and just like such a gift. And in that, I had a very like deeply like spiritual experience in facilitating post that recognition. And the facilitations of the sound baths, I feel like as a practitioner, have shifted. And what an honor to witness that and like be transparent and like share that, because I'm finding just the value of intimate spaces and like close, like small groups. There's just opportunity to be vulnerable in a different way, and that's where I feel like my heart is. That's exciting to say. That's exciting to say. Okay, work, girl. P. Um, but yeah, and I also like have gotten to this place with facilitations and like sharing with others. Like I love the ways in which the community has invited me to witness them, and you know, those of you who have attended and been present and all the things. And I'm so excited to go to deeper layers and invite people to join us there, you know? So, yeah, is there anything else we want to say about this tooth extraction? Yeah, we've been in this healing process and we've actively been pouring light into that healing, you know, in assistance with that bone loss and helping it grow back. You know, I've been pouring light to that area with the actual physical representation and the x-rays. And that's the other thing with conventional medicine as well. You get those physical data points. It can give your guides the opportunity to navigate it more directly. If that resonates for you, perfect, great. I am so grateful that this tooth was extracted. Thank you. I'm so grateful. And also the cosmetic aspect of like how it looks in my smile line. Yeah, I don't care about all that business. Because also, if someone were to say something, say something. I'll send you a link to this. So you get like just an opportunity to witness and discuss like a really powerful, transformative, spiritual, physical realm joined together experience. This was layered, to say the least. Also, did you know that y'all's tooth can they can loosen when you're pregnant? I went into a whole situation like witnessing postpartum, prenatal teeth situations, and yeah, your tooth can get loose, and they're like, just know that, girl. Just know this feeling. Bring peace to your soul with this feeling, girl. So. I have some spirit babies that are just always present and so excited to join us here, Earthside. And I'm grateful to speak these truths and speak these things out loud, and we'll see when I come here again. But as always, I hope you have a day where you hold space for whatever comes up for you. Thank you for sitting with me.